It's vegan recipes with Pat and Emily.
Hi, thanks for stopping by today to see what I'm up to. It just happens to be iced coffee, and I'm going to share with you my version of Vietnamese iced coffee. Let's get started. In here I have a 2-quart and a quarter pitcher. I have filtered water in there. To that I am going to add fresh ground coffee. We are going to stir that in. If you do not have a container that happens to be this size, you can use a larger container and only pour in the 2 quarts of water. For my Vietnamese coffee, I like to make a cold brew coffee. I have almost all of my water in here. Now that my coffee's stirred in, I'll top off the water just to the bottom of this spout. This is just going to sit overnight out on the counter to steep or brew. We will mix together the evaporated coconut milk and the sweetened condensed coconut milk, and we put those in a mason jar and set them in our fridge overnight. I'm not going to do that right now because I love this coffee drink and I already have some mixed up in my fridge, but I'll bring it out and show you later. Our coffee has been sitting brewing overnight, and now it's time to start the straining process. For the first time through, I simply give it a stir and pour it through the strainer without any filter. I shake it up at the bottom. And you get all the coffee grinds out. I just have a little water in this jar to rinse the rest of this out. Alright. Now I'll sit and let that strain for a minute and clean out my other pitcher. These coffee grinds will go in my compost pile. I like to use a paper towel for the straining of my coffee, and I get it a little wet. You can use coffee filters. I feel like it takes way longer and I end up with the same amount of sediment in the bottom. So I like to take a paper towel, preferably one that's actually not this tear in half easy kind, and I fold it down so all my corners come to meet in the middle. And then I take this and plop it down into my strainer. The strainer then goes on the first pitcher, and now it's time to start draining. You're just going to take your time and let this happen. Fill it up, and we'll let it sit and strain. And just keep repeating this process until all of the coffee has been filtered. This is my creamer that I already have mixed up. The sweetened, condensed, and evaporated coconut milks mixed together. They don't really want to combine at first, but then they thicken up after they sit in your fridge for a little while. I would say this is good in your fridge for about 7 days. It does freeze and thaw well, though, because that is too much for me. 7 days, y'all know. That's why I didn't mix up another batch, and it sounds like it's time for us to pour a little more coffee in. I'm gonna put my lid on my creamer and we'll do that. If you're doing this and you're in a hurry, it will go faster if you change out your paper towel option. Also, if you don't want any sediment in the bottom, filter it twice. When I get to the very bottom of the pitcher, I will rinse it out and then dump it in here to strain also. Okay. That's enough of that. You get the idea. Continue and repeat until finished. I'm going to start getting my glasses and ice ready. Now to make our drink. I always like to stir my cream up first. Or in this case, shake it up. For most Vietnamese iced coffees, the cream is already mixed in. I like to let it hit my ice cubes and kind of freeze on there a little bit. I also like that this way it is pretty much like black coffee at the beginning, and then by the time you get to the end, your last sip is sweet. And we'll just pour the coffee over. I like to use a lot of ice with this because this is very concentrated, strong coffee. Doesn't that look nice? I've got my beautiful iced coffee here. I know I love these. I like to leave the cream in there like this, and then as I shake it and get down to the bottom, my last couple sips are the sweetest. If you wanted to, my sister, when she makes this, she just mixes the cream right into the coffee and sweetens the whole batch all at once. Feel free to experiment and find out what you like the best. Also, I like to make these in to-go cups And people have actually asked me what I bought at Starbucks, and I have to tell them it's just coffee I made at home. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you again next week.